Okay, so now we're going to get into the nitty gritty of editing your website. I want you to be empowered to be able to make changes to your website and your template. So here we are in our dashboard. We're going to go ahead and click on Design Site. I went ahead and and it'll pull up the editor in a new tab. I went ahead and did that because sometimes it takes a little time to get in there. So here is one of our templates. And I'm sure if you're new to website editing, if you're new to Wix, this is going to look really overwhelming, but that's why I created this course. So you can have a lot more confidence in editing your template. So I did want to point out throughout this course, I'm going to be using different templates. All of this information is going to be the same, but what you're going to need to do is kind of figure out what element is in each template, but I'm going to go through each one. So just so you know, just because this is, a specific template, all of this information is going to be the same on your template as well. So I'm going to start out here. Just want to kind of give you a little tour of your editor so you feel a little bit more comfortable. So obviously here you've got your, home page. That's what's going to bring up when you first open it. So right here, I first want to point out that this is going to be all of your site pages. So if you want to just go to a specific page, you can just click there, but you can also go to this manage pages, and this is going to give you some more detailed information on each page. It's also going to give you some of your pages that aren't shown on some of the other on that drop down. So for instance, light boxes, which is something I'm going to be going into. This site just so happens to have a light box menu. So you can see here, but again, don't get overwhelmed. I'm going to show you that actually in another video, but again, this shows you some of your other pages. But we want to go to our site menu pages. And as you can see here, for each one of these pages, you've got a few little settings here. And again, I'm going to go into some of these in some of the other videos. Your SEO basics. You can rename this page if you want to for some reason. You can hide a page and unhide it. So this is where you're going to get all of that page information. Up here, you've got, like I said, your site pages. This is where you can switch to your mobile view, which I'm going to go into mobile editing again in another video. That's where you can switch back and forth. I want to show you two of your best friends when you're editing a website. Number one is this undo button. So if you're going in here and you're like, oh, messing around, you're like, oh my God, what did I do? Just go to that undo. That's one of your best friends. The other one is this save button. Now, Wix is going to automatically save your website. However, you do have a site history. So, what that means is, let's say that you do something, you made a bunch of changes, and then you're like, oh, I don't like it. Oh my gosh, you can go back to a previous site history. Now, the only way you can do that, however, is it's only going to save that. It doesn't automatically save. It's only going to save that site history if you click on save or if you publish the site. So if you are making edits to your website, I strongly suggest that you just kind of get in the habit of every so often you just come in here and click save. So it's going to save that site history for you. So that's one thing here. I don't know why you would ever do this, but you can kind of look at the site smaller view. I'm not going to go into this too much, but there are some advanced tools here. For instance, rulers. So let's say you're working on something that's two different parts of the page. You want to make sure that they're lined up. You can put a ruler in here to make sure that as you go down the site, that that's all lined up. Those are kind of one of the advanced tools. But again, you probably won't need to use these too much. Also, your grid lines. Now, general rule of thumb is that you do want to stay within these grid lines, but there are ways that you can go beyond that, that Wix is going to make it so that it shows up correctly on different site platforms, and that's by using strips. So don't be worried about things being outside. I made sure that everything I created in all of these templates are using strips so that they can go outside of the lines. But sometimes you can see, like with this element, I did keep those within the lines. But if you don't want those to show, you can. Now this snap to object, that's going to be so that if you're playing around with different things, you can see that little purple line. See, it's kind of showing you when it's lined up with other elements. So that's what that snap to grid line is. That's helpful. And then a few other tools that you probably won't need. Layers, that's just going to show you every single element on your page, but I don't want to overwhelm you. And then also this toolbar. But again, I don't want to overwhelm you with too many things, but I just wanted to show you that those are there. Obviously, up here to save, preview, you can click on preview at any time and it's going to show you your site. Of course, it's going to be slow because I'm doing a video. So it's going to show you all of the animation, everything, how your site is going to look live. And then if we go back to editor, and then of course, publish. So the next thing I want to show you on this quick tour is these buttons here. So the first one is your add elements. So this is all of the elements on your site, your images, your text, your buttons, your strips. Again, there's a lot, so don't get overwhelmed. I'm going to go through a lot of these on the individual videos that I'm creating in this course, but I wanted to show you where all of those are. Then a few other things. We're going to talk about sections in another video. Um, Pages, that's just brings up your page menu. Your site design, I'm not going to go into that too much because that's something you probably don't want to mess with too much. It's just got your site theme and your page background. We don't really want to have anything that's on all of our page backgrounds. You can come in here and play with transitions, how it slides in and out of each page. But for the most part, you're probably not going to use this site design button too much. Apps. So Wix has a ton of apps. So your online shopping, your booking, your blog, those are all your Instagram feed. Those are all apps that you add to Wix. So if there's ever something you want to do on your site that you're not sure if you can do or not, go in there and you can kind of search around the Wix app market. Again, it's pretty cool. They have a lot of different things that you can integrate into your site. Another thing that I love about Wix, WordPress has this functionality, but it's so complicated to add anything. So Wix makes it really, really easy. This is just your business info, your media manager, and then we're not going to go into content manager. So really you're going to be mostly working with adding these elements. So again, I just wanted to give you a quick tour of your dashboard or your editor rather, so you can start to feel more comfortable. And now we're going to really start to break it down. And I'm going to go into every element of editing. Again, I'm going to be using different templates that have different elements in them to show you. But another thing I wanted to do with this course is make sure that it was really broken down. So if you are working on something specific, let's say you're trying to work with buttons or something like that, you can just go to that section. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And like I said, I'm going to break it down and go through each one of these elements with you.